Welcome back, everybody, to the KC Sports Report. I'm your host, Michael Darcy, and today I'm going to break down if Nick Bolton got exposed during the Chiefs' Week 1 win against the Ravens. So, ladies and gentlemen of the Chiefs Kingdom, your Kansas City Chiefs were able to hang on to defeat the Baltimore Ravens in Week 1 by the final score of 27-20. The Chiefs defense was able to survive a last-ditch effort by the Ravens. Lamar Jackson was driving down the field, making it look easy, but he missed a couple big-time throws down the stretch. He ended up completing a ball to Isaiah Likely in the back of the end zone, who almost had the game-tying touchdown, but as we all know, his foot was on the line. He was not able to get 2 feet in bounds, and the Chiefs were able to hang on to win by quite literally less than a toe. So I think that obviously after such a great win, the Chiefs Kingdom was pretty happy on Twitter. But one guy that got a lot of unnecessary hate on Twitter was Nick Bolton. And so I wanted to take this video to almost defend Nick Bolton. I feel like it's kind of odd that I have to defend a guy who has been one of the better linebackers in the AFC for the past couple seasons now, but I think that it's necessary after seeing all of the hate and just stupidity going around there on Twitter. So I'm going to explain why I think that Nick Bolton did not get exposed in that Week 1 win against the Ravens. So first and foremost, let's address the allegations. Nick Bolton is getting a lot of slander on Twitter for not being a good coverage linebacker. He's too slow. He can't move his hips. In coverage, oftentimes he is, a step or two behind, and it leads to big-time gains by either a tight end or a running back, and it overall hurts the Chiefs' defense. And listen, I'm not going to sit up here and tell you that Nick Bolton is a great coverage linebacker. He's not. Nick Bolton's skill set is not being a coverage linebacker. He is a downhill runner. He is going to plug up those gaps, and he is the best tackler, the best pure tackler on this team. He's one of the best tacklers in the NFL. If you guys remember, a couple years ago, when the Chiefs defense went to Tennessee to stop Derrick Henry, he was taking on Derrick Henry one-on-one. And Derrick Henry, if you've never seen him, is a big man. And in Week 1, when he did face off against Derrick Henry, he did a pretty good job. Outside of that one touchdown run that Henry had in the first quarter on the first drive, he did nothing in this game. But everybody points to the one or two plays that Nick Bolton got turned around and was too slow getting to his coverage spot. And yes, he does struggle in coverage, but again, why is Steve Spagnuolo putting him in that position? Like at that's a defensive coordinator issue, especially when you've got guys like Drew Tranquill or Leo Chenal, in at linebacker. So I think that, he's going to get beat every now and then in coverage, but he's not nearly as bad in coverage as everybody makes it out that he is. Like on that final play of the game where Isaiah Likely caught that ball, the guy that pushed Isaiah Likely out of bounds, winning this game for the Kansas City Chiefs, oh yeah, it was Nick Bolton. Without Nick Bolton on that play, he probably gets 2 feet in bounds, and who knows if I'm talking about a Chiefs win. So I really do think that we do not appreciate Nick Bolton and his talents enough. He is one of the best tacklers that we've had in a long time here in Kansas City. He led the Chiefs in tackles last year. I'm pretty sure he did it the year before that as well. He is going to be consistently up towards the top of the league in tackles. And for a defense that before Nick Bolton struggled to make tackles in the linebacking core, it blows my mind that we are pinpointing one thing that he might not be great at. And listen, I think the whole coverage linebacker thing is overblown. I think he is not as bad as some of the linebackers that we've had in the past. I mean, we are not too far removed from the days of Anthony Hitchens and Damian Wilson. Like, that was not that long ago. And so this team has made drastic strides to improve at the position, but, Nick Bolton is still not under contract. He's looking for that big extension, and the Chiefs signed Harrison Butker, and they extended Creed Humphrey, but they still have not signed Nick Bolton. And so maybe that says something about if the Chiefs are confident that he could be the guy moving forward. But listen, in 2024, do I think that you should worry about Nick Bolton being a weak point on this defense? No. I think you should worry about, maybe the defensive tackle group or maybe that second corner spot. Nick Bolton, for me, is not somebody that I'm worried about on a weekly basis. I think that he is such a good downhill runner and just such a great downhill linebacker that he makes up for what he doesn't have in coverage by being the best surefire tackler on this team. So let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Are you a Nick Bolton fan? Do you think that he's, a bad coverage linebacker? Do you think he hurts the team? Again, I'm seeing all this stuff on Twitter that if you just read what people were tweeting about him, you'd think he's a terrible linebacker. You'd think that he would be a guy that's, coming on the field first and second down and then he's off the field. But, we can even go back to the Super Bowl last year, I guess 2 years ago. He makes big time plays. He makes big time plays in the big time moments. And he's been with this team for 2 Super Bowls. He's been the starting linebacker in 2 of the biggest games that the Chiefs have played in their franchise's history. And he's made plays in those games. And so, yeah, he might not be the best coverage linebacker all the time. He might get beat once or twice. But does that outweigh, what he can do just filling up the gaps and tackling running backs in the backfield? I don't think it does. I think that he is such a quality talent to have on this team that, I just don't understand why so many people complain about him being slow. So I guess there's going to be some Nick Bolton haters out there. I'm not one of them. I think that Nick Bolton is a very capable linebacker who, has one deficiency. But if we look back at, Anthony Hitchens was bad in coverage and he wasn't a great tackler. So I think that we have made massive upgrades at that position. And I think you could ask a lot of other teams in the NFL if they would take Nick Bolton, and the answer would be yes. So I think that Nick Bolton will do just fine from, this point on. I think he had a great game in week 1 outside of a couple, plays where he got beat, but everybody gets beat. That's the NFL. When you're going up against grown men that do this for a living, they're going to get the best of you sometimes. And so I really have no concerns about Nick Bolton bouncing back and being this team's best tackler moving forward. So that's all I have for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Go check me out on social media, Instagram, KC_Sports Report, and Twitter @KC Sports Report. Go check me out on the Bleacher Report mobile app, Michael_Darcy. Thank you guys for watching this video, and go Chiefs.